Hey, 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 hey. We're not there yet. Here we are. Okay, I see us. Okay, we're live. We're live. We're gonna talk about Apple stuff. Hey there, friends on YouTube. How you doing? My name is Jason. Welcome to the Painfully Honest Tech Podcast. Once again, we're doing our thing. Volume check, check. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Everything good? Check, check. 1, 2.
Hey. Oh, did you see my video from this morning?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
You
I've
haven't been
been.
on Twitter today? I've been John Prossering it up all day today.
Oh yeah. How do you do that?
Um, I took a page from Viper, so Viper did a quick little video and telling people how you can watch and on YouTube because this is the first year they've had the keynote on YouTube,
Uh huh.
and then I did my best. I did my best. You know what? We could screen share. Let's do that. Let's do this. Um, Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Okay. I will share my screen. I'm gonna pull this tab out. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna pull this tab out. I'm gonna go to Twitter. Okay, so now it's up to you to pull that up there and show everybody. Okay.
Okay. There it is.
All right. So, I did my best. Um, Good morning. I don't know if the audio will come through, but let's do this. Nope, the audio's not coming through. But I was like yelling, good morning," and more good mornings.
Yes.
I've actually got to hear.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Good morning. Oh, it's Apple. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Good morning. Good morning.
All right.
Hey,
That's hurting my
Brandon.
ears.
Good morning.
What are you doing?
Oh, good morning. It's Apple Day. Oh, good morning. Hey.
I was just doing my best sheep impression. So
Uh huh.
yeah, good morning.
He didn't. There was one event where he said good morning like 6 times in a row. I think he just was just like kind of off script or nervous or something. He only had a couple today. Only a couple.
Yeah. No,
So
I it's kind of funny leading up to today, and we even talked about this last week. Like we were all like, whatever, right?
right.
But then the morning happened, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just buy into the marketing and just let's go, right? And I'll admit, Apple puts on a hell of a show. Samsung came close, but this year Apple killed it. I wasn't impressed by one part. We'll probably talk about that later. But anyway, what are your overall thoughts
My
of
overall
today's
thoughts.
keynote?
Geez, we need to go more. Let's go through some of what there is,
Okay.
and then we'll get into that.
Okay. First of all, you want to say hi to some people in the chat. We have quite a few of the community, some new members, some new hats in there. I see.
Uh huh.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Well, of course we have Genosis. He doesn't have a hat yet. Mr. Mystery. We've got Drake Robichaux. Ken Ortega's in here. We got who else? I'm just kind of scrolling. El Jefe Reviews is
I've heard of that
in
guy.
the
He does
house.
good
Yeah.
help movies.
In the house, Mr. El Jefe Reviews. We got Charles White. We got Pip Tomlinson. I hope that's a real name. I
Tech
hope
rant. Read that. Go ahead. I'm not gonna read it.
that.
He's right though.
$4.99 from Tech. Okay, so Tech Rant is super chatted. Good morning. Here are your pale iPhone 11 options. You're in yellow, cucumber green, and not purple. Yeah, well, you forgot pink, man. You forgot pink, dude.
The purple looks cool
No,
if you're
it
gonna get the
doesn't.
11.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it's more of a lavender.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Lavender. I mean, I was hoping for Prince Purple, but
No, I mean all the colors except for white, black, and red are pastel.
yeah.
And there ain't no way.
The
Eh-eh.
the invite thing was a definite giveaway, right? So
I guess. I
Yeah, hey.
still don't know why they did. I mean, is that their new logo? Like, what the heck?
I don't know. We got Viper in the chat.
Viper is in
He
the
didn't bring
chat.
any fire though. Hey Viper, guess what? There wasn't one more thing.
No,
I don't know
there
if you saw
wasn't.
my video yet. I'm pretty sure you saw it on Twitter. Viper's upset with me. He won't say what it is, but I know he is upset with me.
I see. Well, we might have to get him in here later so you guys can
think-
talk it out.
I think we should.
Yep. Maybe so.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what we encountered today. What was revealed to us by the great masters at Apple.
Mm-hmm. No Johnny Ive. That would felt kind of weird. There was no British voiceover this year.
And he hasn't been doing this for a while. Like he's done a couple, but it hasn't really been like, once it became a meme, he sort of stopped. So yeah, but we've had a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They started out in services land, where they had arcade.
Yep.
And okay, I have to admit, like, I'm not a big mobile gamer, okay? But I have to admit that, like, the fidelity of the games was looking pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
They were looking pretty nice, and
Did you notice how they really they mentioned this 4 times, but the gaming stuff they said you don't have to buy all of them. You get them all for $4.99. Oh, they didn't mention the price then. They said you get them all with the service. Because Stadia, you only get select. You still have to buy the titles. I thought that was very interesting, and they did that on purpose.
Yeah, well, I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I was worried about. I was worried about it with arcade. I was worried about it with TV Plus. I was worried that Apple had painted themselves into the corner of like, we're not going to be able to charge a reasonable amount, especially compared to what Google or what Disney came out with Disney Plus, and just sort of blew the price out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, I don't care what's on arcade. I don't care. Like, maybe I'll try it out free for a month because you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big, like, mobile phone gamer person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was, but $4.99 is the right price. And the fact that it's like shared with the entire family, anybody who's in your, iCloud, iTunes, whatever family, is really good. That was the first indication that I was like, okay, they haven't done anything stupid out of the gate, so maybe we're gonna be all right. So then they transition over to the TV Plus.
C.
Yeah. C.
C?
It is called C.
I know, right?
C.
My wife wants to watch it. She has a thing for Jason Momoa. I don't know why.
Jason Momoa of Iowa.
Is he from Iowa?
He is from Iowa.
Shit, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Phil Collins is in the chat. Love your songs, man.
Can you feel it in the air at night?
I can feel something in the air tonight.
Gotcha.
I just ate dinner though, so.
Are you against all odds?
Am I what?
Against all odds. Don't you know Phil Collins music?
Oh,
I'm younger than you, and I know
yeah,
Phil Collins
of course
music.
I know. Some songs I've like actively
Okay.
tried to forget.
We're getting
That's
off
one of them.
topic.
That's one of them. So we got Jason Momoa of Iowa in his new series called C, where everyone is blind.
Yeah.
Everyone is blind. It's centuries in the future, but it looks like caveman time, which I'm sure there's a story there. And so yeah, I guess there's some babies born with the gift of sight or the curse of sight or how. Anyway, it looks like a decent enough show. I like that kind of stuff, so I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it while it's free. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably check it out. I mean, here's the thing, though. I was like, okay, fine. We've got Steve Carell. We've got Reese Witherspoon. We've got Oprah, whatever.
It's all the old guard. It's all like, I'm sorry. I'm done with celebrities unless her name is Jessica Alba.
But she's been done for quite a many years.
I know.
Yeah, she's a mom hanging out with the money that she made and not worrying about it. So,
Selena Gomez, does she still act?
She She does. She was just in that Jim Jarmusch movie, the zombie movie with Kylo Ren and Bill Murray.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was a Selena Gomez.
Yeah, she's in the movie.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of Logan Lucky.
No. That's
Logan Lucky was good.
it was pretty good.
By the way,
They're from West
have you
Virginia.
have you seen Spring Breakers?
No.
That's messed up. Watch that. I mean, it's not like it's not like Kids. Like remember the movie Kids? It's not like that.
Right.
But I think it's the same director.
All right. Back on track.
Okay, yeah. What are we talking about?
Apple TV Plus. Nobody cares what's going to be on there because we don't know what it is yet. So we decided we needed to know what it was going to cost. We needed to know what the cost was going to be, and I was sure it was going to be like $18.99 or
Yeah.
$24.99 or something like that.
$4.99.
$4.99
Yeah, for the family.
for the family.
So what's a family? Is it like max 4 screens? Probably, right?
I don't know. You can add. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway,
Okay.
I've added my daughter to the family. I don't remember. how
She's
I
now
did
part of your family.
to in the Apple world. Yes.
Okay.
So
Do you wanna bring up the-
$4.99.
Yeah.
$4.99 is the right price. It's
Okay.
absolutely the right price
I'm looking at the website right now.
because it undercuts Disney, which they needed to do because Disney's got the catalog and they're not doing catalog. They're doing all original stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Like Apple has like that's the only way you're really gonna is with names and like you know how every couple of months on Netflix there's that show that everybody watches, like Bird Box, which I thought was a stupid movie, but I still watched it. That's what Apple has to do with everything.
It wasn't that good a movie, Bird Box.
I mean, I like Bullock when she's muted, but that's about it.
I think she's fine. She's probably the best thing about it. It's just they anyway. Let's not do that. Let's not talk
I'm sorry,
about
yeah.
other stuff. Let's stay focused on.
Dude, they have Snoopy in space.
Okay, see, but I don't care. Other than Jason Momoa of Iowa, I don't care what's on Apple TV Plus.
The Elephant Queen.
Don't care.
I'm scrolling through. You should bring up the Helpsters. This looks like Muppets or something.
They've got all kinds of kid programming.
Yeah, the morning show.
That's the Steve Carell.
Oh yeah,
Reese
okay. I
Witherspoon.
didn't recognize him with the glasses. He's got the glasses are similar to yours.
No,
Yeah. Well, his are more rounded.
yes, I can't do rounded.
You watch your mouth about Sandra Bullock. Viper says, "Man, Viper's been after me today." Told you, man, he hates me. He doesn't like me right now. I don't say hate. Hate's a strong word. I'm gonna say Viper's not impressed right now. He's got his Apple glasses on, probably.
So Genosis says $4.99 only matters if the content appeals to the consumer. Apple TV Plus has no content right now. That is irrelevant. That is relevant to me. Well, it has no content right now at all. It doesn't launch until November 1st. And at that point, they will have content. Whether or
They
not
got-
it's relevant to you or whatever is beside the point. What Apple needs to do, the thing that they're trying to do is leverage the 1 billion screens that they have against this new service and create and get people watching it. So I think they said they were offering the 1 month free with that as well. But, and this is the big deal. This was the big deal. But if you buy an Apple device between now and November 1st, you get it for free for a year.
Yeah, and that was huge because, I mean, I'm gonna be getting one of the new iPhones just for review and everything like that, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna be keeping it now if that means I get to keep the services for free. So
Right.
yeah,
So Tim Larson says $4.99 is great, but you get what you pay for. And to that point, what the fuck are we actually getting? Well, the thing is, $4.99. This is something that you don't realize that you've already paid for this. You've already paid for this. You bought a $1,000 phone from Apple. You bought a $1,000 iPad from Apple. You've already paid for this. They're just making you pay again, and they're not bending you over in order to do it.
yeah,
So, so let's not look at the price tag and make any judgments about the quality of the content because that's not really how you
what
can judge this.
is that? How they say it? It's neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor there.
Is
or
that how they say
neither
it?
here.
Neither or neither?
It doesn't matter.
Is that like on accident?
Uh,
Americans, I swear.
well, the proper word is accidentally.
And that's what my wife said. She's an editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, people say on accident. There's all kinds of weird regional isms.
It just triggered me this week when Prosser said it.
Well, I mean, I think on accident is a Midwestern thing.
Ah,
So, you also stand online in you stand online in New York City. You stand
Okay.
in line everywhere else. Anyway, I think that's the way it is.
are we giving? Are we doing a? Okay. So anyway,
Okay,
what's
so
so
anyway-
you think 4.99 even without you think I think that's a steal, based on what I see.
Genosis is salty. He's like saving $16.99 for 12 months is meh. I'd like to see those savings applied to iPhone 11 buyers, giving them a fast charger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did you notice how when they announced that the fast charger was going to be in the box for the Pro phones, it was like deadly silent?
I know. I couldn't believe. I mean, I get it from. You know what the excuse is going to be from all the Apple apologists, and even if Apple actually addresses it, it's going to be, well, we did that to keep the price down. Shut up. Look at
Yeah.
Android. Whatever.
I don't think Apple's going to say anything about it.
They're not. But I mean, all the Apple Pro apologists, those channels out there, the Twitters and the Instagrammers and then the YouTube, especially YouTube, that's going to be their reason. Is that, in fact, if Greg's Gadgets is watching right now, Greg, if you're watching, I already know that's what you're going to say. All they did to keep the prices down. Here's my computer. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Apple has a different philosophy about these charging things than
Mhm.
people who criticize them about the charging things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Genosis, did you have a bad day? What's going on?
I
Very
need to get
salty.
out to Kelowna to give him a hug.
Kelowna, there's a Kelowna like 30 minutes away from my house. It's an
That-
Amish community.
He's that's where he is. He's about 6-hour drive west of me.
I see.
Yeah.
Still the middle of nowhere?
No, it's actually a nice town. It's like they don't get snow there.
Oh,
It happens in Canada. I keep on telling you, man, move here. There's places that don't get snow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for there to be no more snow. So,
Kelowna or Vancouver Island, if you like rain, but like
Oh,
the
man.
interior BC, it's like desert. You'd
Did
love
I-
it.
did I tell you I spent like most of a summer on Vancouver Island?
Did you? It's
Yeah.
beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to Sydney and like Squamish and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, I don't know. I had a friend. I met a guy. I was in this. All right,
You're dating a
so-
guy?
No, I met a guy on this choir tour that I did, and we became
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
So that was for summer right after high school, and then the summer after my freshman year of college, he said, "Come out and hang out for a month or whatever, and like, throw bales of hay." And
Did you smoke weed?
no,
Go.
I think I've smoked weed like maybe 6 times.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying BC bud. It's good.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Anyway, we're off topic again.
No, it's your fault.
Well, okay. You were the one who started talking about Canadian lands, like Canadian places.
Okay. Sorry.
So, anyway, I think that by and large, Apple did exactly what they needed to do to position Apple TV Plus to be viable.
Mm-hmm.
It just remains everybody who goes out and buys any of the things that were just released today will have free access to it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if Apple can get the coverage for it, if they can get reviews, if they can get, if they can get the media talking about the programming, then, they might have something.
Mm-hmm.
Apple's good at that. They're really good at getting people talking about things. So, I don't know. They've got Helpsters and Ghostwriter.
Mm-hmm.
That
Are you looking at the shows?
yeah.
Yeah.
Servant from M. Night Shyamalan.
I don't know what
which-
this is. I'll watch the trailer after. For All Mankind. So it's a space guy in a spacesuit, and then in his reflection, the
a-
Chinese flag.
It's a science fiction thing where the
Mhm.
space race continued after 1968.
Hmm.
So
It looks cool.
yeah, and that's a Russian USSR flag.
Yeah.
The hammer e sickle.
Okay. So
Um,
so at $4.99 and a free year if you're getting a device, either or is,
Right.
I mean, good way to get things started. That's
Right.
They had to come under the Disney Plus pricing. They had to differentiate themselves, and if they can do that successfully going forward, and maybe add some, syndication content, like who knows, right? Friends or whatever. I think they have the money to put it into these shows. Like they're not going to skip out.
See, I think so you have to think about the way the Apple TV app works.
I've never used it, truthfully.
Okay, the way the Apple TV app works is that if you are subscribed to HBO, that kind of thing,
Okay.
all of those things will aggregate in this app, right?
Okay.
So if you want, you don't have to go to the individual HBO app; it'll be inside the app. Like if you have ESPN, whatever they're calling their online thing now,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be in the app. So all that stuff aggregates in there. If you have TV service, it'll also aggregate in there. And so what Apple's going to do is just put their stuff in amongst everything else.
Okay.
So it'll just be there as like another thing that you can watch, and I'm sure they'll like promote the hell out of it because
Okay.
they've got your eyeballs. But yeah, it's I thought it was. I made a video.
Oh, did you?
A
Did
while
you release your
back.
video yet today?
No, because it took forever to render.
Are you gonna release it after this?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So everybody from here, we will go to the video after.
that's right. That's right.
356 people. I'm saying.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Even the people that are being saying silly things and being like muted and stuff like that. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
MC2 Tech Review says, "Man, I am liking these new iPhones."
Oh yeah,
We're gonna talk about that soon.
yeah. Next, we got to talk about the iPad.
Yeah, we're going in order here. iPad.
Yeah.
So what's the new size? It's like 10.2 inch or something like
It's a
that.
half inch bigger than it was until today.
The ladies are not gonna be angry at that if they can get another half inch.
Keep it clean.
I know.
Come on.
I'm talking about the iPad.
Yeah, I know. No, I see. If you on the face of it, you look and you say like, "Oh, the cheap iPad just got an upgrade."
Dude, starts at $329. That's
Yeah.
a steal.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, that cheap iPad is the best deal in all of techdom.
Unless Google comes out with some sort of laptop or something similar in October, this is what I'm getting for my kids. I'll get two of them, one for my 7-year-old and one for my 4-year-old. I will. They don't have their own computers yet. They finally have desks in their room. They use my old HP does dick all thing. And then to combine that with them being able to do the Apple TV and the games and everything, like this looks like the way we're going. Like I know you have to add on the keyboard and but honestly, at $500 each, let's say, once you add on accessories, that's a great Christmas. I mean, and we can afford that. And that's at $329, that's steal, man. And even then, the stuff that I do, that you do, you could probably do on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need the Pro.
I have the one.
Yeah.
I have the one that was current until today. I
Mhm.
bought it for $250. I sold my iPad Pro,
Boom.
and I sold my iPad Pro because I was like, I have this $900 iPad, and I don't use it for anything but reading ebooks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I sold it, and then I was without an iPad for a while, and I was like, oh, geez, this kind of stinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that one, and I thought I'd gotten my wife one before,
Mhm.
And so she's been using hers religiously. She it's doing fine for her. There's no real like recognizable. I mean, when looking at the screen of this iPad, you don't say this is a crappy iPad screen.
Yeah, I was talking with my contacts at Ballistic today, and we were talking about that exact thing. Like your consumers The people that run this not market, not you and I, we've talked about this so many times. You and I, the people in the chat, the people who might come along watch the replay later on. That's not who Apple markets to. They market to just the everyday. I want something that works, that's simple, that's cool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Super chat
from Fat Produce.
Fat Produce.
I'm always surprised how many words Apple can use to say so little during these Apple events. Yeah, that was something that, I mean, I find myself frustrated by it all the time.
I learned about transistors today. Oh my God, what was that?
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden this guy comes out on stage and just starts rattling off stuff that's over the heads of like 99.9% of anybody who's going to see that event.
I think to myself, my wife's going to ask me tonight, so what'd you learn? I'll be like, I learned transistors. And she's going to just say, get the F out of here.
Well, like I'm thinking, I think when I think transistors, I think transistor radios,
So do I.
like,
Yeah.
and then they're like, there's 8.5 billion transistors inside of a chip that big.
Nobody cares.
Well, I mean, I care for the sheer, like, how in the heck is that possible? I don't understand how
They could have put out a blog post. Anyway, back to the iPad about how $250 you bought one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, this iPad, and this to me was a kind of big deal. The most important thing, the most under discussed but most important thing about this event was at every product they brought on a tier that cut the price. Right?
Yep.
So this iPad is now it's now accessible for a lot more people than it would than any other iPad.
Yeah, don't save yourself a headache and don't get. I like Samsung stuff, but no, don't buy a $600 S6, whatever the heck the new. Do you know what I mean? No.
Okay, so let's just be honest. If you're gonna buy anything that's a tablet, don't buy anything but an iPad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's the only one that's been viable. It's the only one that has any kind of real ecosystem. It's the only one that has proven that people actually care about it.
Yeah.
Google has tried. I mean, Android doesn't even support tablet OS anymore.
I've had the Pro 11-inch, whatever size it is, since last November. I use it for thumbnails, YouTube, and a little bit of doodling. I am so satisfied with this. And it's too powerful. If I go on the road, I can video edit with it and everything like that, even though I don't have everything I'm used to in Final Cut. Nothing else comes close to this. And the thing is, all the stuff I do, I could do in that new 329. In fact, I might even just sell this, get some money back, and get that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would make sense.
I think it's one of those things that I think most people, the conventional wisdom on Apple is still like, oh, everything's so expensive. Oh my God, you can't afford to be.
Hey, Travis MCB is here.
I see that. Travis.
He's
in the house. In the house. Sean Williams rocking his hat.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I like to acknowledge
wizard hat.
Pieces of the community as they come in.
If you want to have your own wizard hat, then you can go down toward the bottom of the player here and click that join button.
Jason sends nudes.
I don't. I don't. But so the iPad, the fact that it's cheap, I mean, and somebody was poo-pooing the A10 Fusion chip. I mean, I would venture to guess that the A10 Fusion chip holds its own with a lot of the chips that are in other smartphones these days.
For what you're doing on there, you're not going to notice the difference. And if you can tell the difference, you already know not to get that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's I mean, if you know that you're going to do a lot of heavy lifting on the iPad, then you would need an iPad Pro.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, that's why they made
the keyboard looks beautiful. You can use the pencil. They're even showing one of those dongles you plug in there that has the lightning and the USB-A end on it. Grab files from anywhere. Use one of these. It's like they're advertising the accessories. They're going. I noticed that with there was kind of a theme with every part. They're going hard with the accessories. Did you know that the Apple Watch 4 from last year, the watch bands will fit the new 5? We'll talk about that, which is cool because I ordered the titanium today and I still have the band left over. I never returned it when I returned the watch. So now I have 2 bands. I'm happy about that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the case though for I think that
Look at
all
the
the
controller.
bands from ever.
The controller's a PlayStation controller they have on here.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You should put the screen up.
Techno Eclipse, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words about the video. I have been taking it in the backside to a certain extent.
Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull this out and
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words.
all right. So we're gonna share and you'll have to put us side by side. So we're gonna share.
It happens naturally. I've already got that thing selected.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
So see when I say this, that's
there we
what
go.
happens.
Okay. So I'm gonna scroll back to the top. This is the U.S. site, but I mean, look. As soon as you click on iPad, so I'll click on iPad at the top. As soon as you click that, and you click on the new one, this screams education. Boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Primary colors.
Just like a computer,
Yeah.
unlike
Yeah.
any computer. So 329, watch the keynote, and then as I go down, like just the colors and the way things are rolled out, like and the text and everything. This just screams kids, hey? Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean,
Brilliant.
I've always thought that. I've always thought that the iPad had the potential to
Mhm.
displace something like Chromebooks in the education space.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
so if you don't have kids that are in like junior high and high school, well, my daughter got a Chromebook when she went to high school. So
Mm-hmm.
the Chromebooks that they get are not
They're not the greatest.
no, they're thick, clunky,
Mm-hmm.
slow things.
I mean, you can do the kid stuff on it, like the games. Like I think I'm just selling to myself now, but I mean, that's the iPad that people are gonna get. Look, they got a PlayStation controller on here, so there's obviously a partnership there. Pair with your PS4 or Xbox controller. So you put a PlayStation, but you can use either or. Learn more about Apple Arcade. So that's great that they got that permission to do that. I mean, you got some drawings here. This reminds me of I can't remember her name, Sylvia something rather. She does the Wiggles cartoons. Viper knows who I'm talking about. This reminds me of her stuff. Yeah. Good job, Apple. Good
Yeah,
job. I mean, I'll admit it. I'm not an Apple guy, but it's a good job, you know.
Yeah, the iPad we've spent enough time on, but suffice it to say,
What's next?
Good.
Watch?
the next thing is the watch, and
Okay. So we're gonna go to watch and go to new.
and so the thing, okay. Last year, the Apple Watch Series 4 was such a big deal. Like there's so many new like crazy features, right? Yeah, the EKG, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It just like jumped up a number of levels.
I wasn't too happy with the. You and I talked about this briefly. I put a tweet out on it, and it's just because I see through the marketing. I think most people do, but I didn't really like the scare tactics or what I thought were scare tactics when they were interviewing those people, and people were talking about, save my life, da 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 da. Right. So, I mean, you don't need a watch to get healthy. You don't need to be closing rings to get healthy.
But that's not the point. That's a very cynical way to look at it. But that's not the point.
Okay.
The point was that these were actual stories where people contacted Apple to say, or at least they want us to believe that these people contacted Apple.
They want you to believe that okay,
And-
go on.
But I mean, I've heard these stories. I've read these stories in the wild as well.
You know what? So I'm getting one. If I become one of those people, please call me out on it. Okay, I'm getting a watch. I've already ordered it. So
Yeah, but what's wrong with
there's nothing. I don't like the emotional connection that some brands make to try to sell you on stuff. What they should have done is just said, this is what our watch does, and here are the results from these doctors, and they'll say, you know, we recognize it does this. It's been recognized by this institute, which is what they did last year. So this year they had to connect.
This year they have stories.
I know this year they had to connect on an emotional level. So I get it.
Well,
I feel as though it's dirty.
See, I don't feel like it was they had to. I don't think they were. It's an opportunity for them, sure. And do they recognize the potential power of those stories? Yes. Yeah. But when you have stories of people who were, you know, people who did have some kind of incident, did fall down, did get the EMTs there, you know, did get their wife called. I mean, those are powerful stories.
I know.
And I don't think it's unfair to say, we made this watch with this feature. Here's how it worked for some people in the real world, you know? And with the closing of the rings thing, I mean, Greg's in here. Greg can talk to this a bunch as well.
Viper, I'm not wrong. I have a different opinion. Don't say that, please. And yes, I know. I'm aware of Greg's. It is well documented. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying. Let me be very clear, because I had to say this on Twitter. I'm not denying what the Apple Watch does. Okay? I just don't like the marketing of it this year, of what we saw during the keynote. That's my problem.
So here's my final reaction to that. Of all the things that Apple does in terms of marketing, it's very odd to me that was the thing that bothered you.
I just watched it because, you know what? I had a wake up call in January, and no watch would have saved my life.
No, but they're not saying the watch is going to save everyone's life.
That's what it said to me. So
I think you were. I mean, I understand you've had a personal experience that maybe is coloring.
You know what? I need a hug.
But I think that it's good that they have those stories to tell.
Okay.
And to me, storytelling is always better than selling. You know, that you're not selling me something when I hear somebody tell me a story about how the product worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's in some minor lifestyle way or if it's in some significant way. I mean, not many tech companies can say we sell a product that has saved people's lives, and they're not a medical device company. You know?
Okay, so this year you can create your own. Okay, and this is how I ordered mine. So you go here and you go size, and you pick your size, 44 case, and then you can go through the different cases. Now I don't know why it's only showing the aluminum here. So I'm actually going to say I'm done, and I'm going to go back, because you have to pick aluminum first. I don't know why I wouldn't create your own style. Get started. Yeah, so this is stuck on the Nike stuff. So I'm going to, this was frustrating earlier when I was trying to order. My watch apparently won't come until October 2nd now. But if I go to watch, and so because I wanted the titanium, so I went down here. Where is it? Watch Series 3. Okay, no, this is the wrong. Series 5.
Hey, while you're doing this, I want to say thanks to LeBaron for the $5 super chat. You know, one of these days you can throw me a little membership love, but this will do in the interim. Scott Aarons with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's talk specifically about the Apple Watch Series 5.
Okay, and that's what I'm in right now.
Yes, but I want to talk about the actual device, not shopping for it.
Okay.
The interesting thing to me about it, I thought that there would be more sort of like whiz bang, like, wow, that's really cool kind of things, but there weren't.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest thing about the Apple Watch Series 5 is the always-on display.
Yeah, it was, and I can't remember whose video I watched where they talked about how they changed the hertz, like the screen, so they could do this, and yet it has better battery power. I can't remember whose video. I think it wasn't TLD. It might have been John Rettinger's video, even though it wasn't him, that talked about how they changed the megahertz or the screen refresh or whatever, hertz, whatever, sorry, so that they can do this now without compromising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess this screen that they've come up with, which is a different kind of screen than anybody has ever used in anything. You know, it's a super screen. It can regulate its refresh rate from 60 hertz down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's not being used, then, you know.
So I want to point this out because I noticed this year, and this may have changed since I ordered and returned my watch last year. Last year when I ordered, the watch comes with like a standard band or whatever. This year you can customize, and as you saw right there, I picked a titanium, just a brushed titanium, and I picked the leather band. And I've already done this on my other account and everything like that. But I noticed that when I went to go check out, it asked me for what size band. Now I've got large wrists, which is why I had to get the sports loop, the Velcro one. That's one that Andrew Edwards told me to get. And that band from last year will still fit this. So, and I know that band is a max of 210. So I thought it was kind of cool because I don't remember this from last year where I could pick a different size. Like you couldn't customize this, right?
No.
And the band that came in the box did not fit at all, right? So this is what I ordered. And so anyway, you can go through this thing. Once you pick the type you want, then you can go through this maker. And again, you can go back and you can create different styles and then you can compare all of them. So again, we are on the titanium. So you can pick your size and then we can go to case. And if I go down here, like here's like all the stainless, right? The ceramics. So here's a stainless steel with black. And then I can click on band. And let's say I want to put that with the brown or the yellow or like, here's the rainbow, right? I'm going to hit I'm done. And now I can pick from either or.
Right.
At the checkout.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. I like how they're giving people. It should be interesting how the packaging is because we know Apple's packaging is always really good. Should be interesting to see how they're doing this. But this is the one that I ordered. I ordered the titanium. I was gonna go with steel like last year. I want to feel what the titanium is like. I know it's gonna be nice and lightweight. With the leather band, I guess this is like a magnetic type thing. And plus, I have my band from last year that will fit this. So anybody that's wondering the bands and everything that they were fitting from last year, I had to dig deep on this, but they fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Series 4 bands will fit. So good on Apple allowing people to continue using their bands, right? They're just adding to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the bands have been compatible ever since. I think you can even like the 42-inch one, the 42 millimeter ones. Like they changed the sizes.
Yeah.
But I think even the older bands still fit. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I could be wrong. I think Greg's Gadgets knows this. Maybe Viper. I don't think the Series 2, the Series 3 didn't fit, and it was only after last year that the previous years did fit. I could be wrong though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to say thanks to Buzz703 for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate the kind words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the always on screen is potentially enough to sway me.
I didn't have enough issues with it. Like I noticed that every time I raised my hand, it was fine. Like even when I was sitting there eating and I just did kind of turn my wrist naturally, I never had that issue. But I can see how that might bug some people.
Yeah.
Right. I can see how that might bug.
Greg says all watch bands fit. So
boom. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the big thing was the always on display. So it's not like any kind of big deal. So now we transitioned into the meat and potatoes portion.
The iPhone, and they didn't go with the names. Like I thought they were going to drop the Max name, but it's iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Now this was weird the way they did it. This was weird.
What are we going to talk about first? The 11 or 11 Pro?
11.
Okay.
And we're going into order.
Okay. There we go.
So they come on and they're like, let's talk about the iPhone. And then they say, and here it is, the iPhone 11. And everybody, I mean, if you've been paying attention at all, you know that this is the new model of the 10R. Last year they did the regular iPhones, and then they brought the 10R out at the end, and it was kind of felt like an afterthought. This year they say they made a big show of saying this is the iPhone, and at first I was like, does this mean that they're not gonna have another? Because they didn't say, and we'll talk about the other ones later. They just said this is the iPhone, and I have to admit, they went through the majority of the presentation talking about this, its camera,
Mm-hmm.
and everything about it relating to this, which is not like the super duper version, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
This will be the biggest seller again. Again, I guarantee
well,
it.
as Andrew Edwards has told me many times, the cheap one is always the best seller.
Yep.
So,
And especially now, like our friend John Prosser says, the market needs compromise. Yeah, definitely.
well, I don't know if anybody remembers, but last year
Peppermint
I
charge members.
I I complained so often, so much about the iPhone 10R that 749 was a weird price and it should be
Mhm.
699.
So we'll go to pricing here.
I said it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And what they, I mean, somebody from Apple must be watching because they made it 699.
Let's go to purple. So it starts at 64 gigabytes. Now, for myself personally, because my main device, everything I do is on the Note, 64 gigabytes is going to do me perfectly fine. I don't turn on or use my iPhone that often. I use it mostly for shooting B-roll and doing some case stuff here and there. I think for the majority of, I don't understand why there's, okay, there is a 128 version. Okay, where I was thinking about the other one.
Yeah.
I think 64 is perfect. I think the sizes here are perfect. I think anything bigger than 256 and you need to go to the next model.
So I have 64 gigs on my 10s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not enough.
What are you doing?
Well, I took it to New York with me to do like a lot of video stuff, and I also wanted to carry some downloaded like Netflix, whatever, Apple movies, whatever. I was able to download one movie, and like a couple of shows,
Okay.
and then
So the downloading of the movie is probably what killed it a little bit for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just feel like that for a lot of people, that would be a deal breaker
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people are traveling or they need to have that stuff offline.
Mm-hmm.
So 64 gigs is fine as long as you're not really going to store anything on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
128 is, I've always said 128 is the sweet spot, even
Yep.
back in the day when they were still giving out 32.
Even for creators like us that have
Yeah.
multiple things going on, I can make 64 work because I have such great Wi-Fi and the whole city is covered in my ISP's Wi-Fi and everything like that. Generally, for the most part, and my data plan is pretty good. But 128, yeah, like you said, is the
Yeah.
sweet spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think that 128 is an option with the other phones, but we'll
No,
get there.
64, 256, 512.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get there though.
Yeah.
So, first off, let's talk about the colors.
Okay,
Can you-
let me go back. I'll go back to the colors.
Yeah, we can just look at those little dots.
No. I'll find a nice picture. So you didn't want to do this. This is why you didn't want to do this. You want me to steer. Okay, I get it.
Well, because I'm like thinking.
All right. Let me find a better. Okay, there we go. Very pastel.
Ugly.
You don't like them?
3 phones that I would carry gladly, and 3 phones that I would never touch with a 50-foot pole.
I like the green and the red and the purple. I would probably get the I get the green. I get the mint. I'd go
Yeah.
mint.
It's not for me.
I don't like the red because the logo's white. If it was black with a black face, yeah. But it's all white faces. Nothing against white people or white faces.
Well, wait. Show us one turned around.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep on scrolling here. There's the back. Here's that car. People jumping. Here's the photos you'll never take with it. Diversity. Okay, keep on going.
There's nothing wrong with diversity, Jack.
No, there's nothing wrong with diversity. Okay, I was wrong. There is a black front.
Yeah, because that's what this is.
Okay, but the
So-
Apple logo on the back is white.
No, it's silver.
Or silver, whatever.
Oh, it is. Look.
Okay, fine. Silver lives matter. Okay. So yeah, black front. Okay.
No, Zach's getting salty.
No, I'm not salty. I'm just saying it the way I see it. I watched the Chappelle thing on Netflix the other day, and I gotta censor myself more. You can get away with it. I can't. But yeah, okay, it's a black front. Okay, that changes things.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
changes things.
I mean, I still think that this red, the red color from this past year, was the best color for the 10R.
Genosis, I love you.
And so then they went into this camera stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting. Like to start talking about all the camera features with the phone that has the camera that doesn't have all the features,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they did a really good job, I think, of explaining how it works.
Here's your camera specs.
So I was surprised. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but typically, if you have a two-lens system going on with your cameras,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a wide angle and you've got a telephoto.
No, it's always even on past Samsungs, it's always been wide and ultra wide. It's the telephoto, or I should say, quote unquote telephoto, because it's not true. If you really want to get technical, that's always the extra that's tacked on.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
anyway, what Apple's trying to tell you, and this is the truth, you're still going to get that ultra wide and wide experience. You just won't necessarily get some of the same depth effects, but they're going to correct it on this phone with software.
Yeah, they're going to use those 8.5 billion transistors
The transistors.
and the neural engine.
The transistors.
You know, what are we going to do when our iPhones become sentient? But I was impressed with the way that they showed the difference between the wide angle and the ultra wide, and the fact that you can choose from either one. And then when you're focusing in video, you're able to like smoothly sort of transition from one to the other.
Are you talking about from like close and then zooming in?
Or zoom out.
Yeah. So I can do that currently with my Note, even with the Galaxy S10 and even the S9. It may not have been as smooth. Like I could click a button and go pop in, and I even did that in my review video. But going in and out, like pinch to zoom and everything like that, isn't that smooth. But it's nothing. It's new for the iPhone. It's nothing new for what phones can do. Let's be really clear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I liked about another thing is this was sort of connected to that. The fact that you can go straight from taking photos into doing video without like stopping and changing and
So right now with this, and I was able to do this with my S9 and S10 Plus, I can do a video, not selfie, but I can do a video, and as I'm recording, I can take photos. Is that what you're talking about?
No, they
Screen
showed
caps?
that you can be taking photos
Mm-hmm.
and then instantly transition over to taking video.
Okay, so that's something I've never experienced. So that's obviously a little bit new.
Which has always been kind of the frustrating thing. Like, you're there, your kids are doing some fun stuff, and you think, well, I'll just get a picture of this, and then they do really fun stuff, and you want to get a video, and then you have to like,
I can see that be appealing to parents, grandparents.
yeah,
Yep.
so, and I think there are a lot of creative ways that these phones cameras will be able to be used. I mean, the night mode looks really good. Of course, we're not going to know what the night mode really looks like until we're able to see it compared to the night
Pixel.
modes that are already on the.
The night mode on Samsung is
Yeah,
the real competitor is going to be the Pixel 4
yeah.
for us techie guys. For the average consumer, the people that run the market, people will love this.
Yeah. I mean, I have a philosophical issue with night mode to begin with. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to take a picture in the dark.
I don't know, man. There's those
that's just
special
not how it works.
There's those special situations that you want to.
No. That's just cameras are about light, and if you don't have any light, you can't take a picture. So this is all software. It's fine.
12 megapixel wide, has 100% focus up to 3 times faster. 12 megapixel ultra wide, capturing data. Again, people, let's be very clear. This is new for Apple, obviously not the industry. I would really put this phone up against like a P30 Pro, for example, with the Leica lens.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, one thing that we don't know. I mean, so I was anxious to see what they were kind of do with the camera stuff. I was gonna see. I was anxious to see if they really were gonna come out with something that made a difference, um, and could somehow arguably justify the giant wart on the back of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like from watching this event, it's possible that they've done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's been a while, but for a very long time, Apple was the king of smartphone cameras.
Yep.
They were the best camera that you could get on any smartphone up to, let's say, the 6 or 6S. And then Android sort of started to catch up and then in some ways surpassed.
Okay.
I hope that this camera becomes the thing that potentially puts Apple back in the conversation for best camera on a phone.
We predicted, we all talked about this last week. We predicted that there would be a lot of emphasis on the camera, and I felt like this year there was more than usual. Like more, they went through it in like the same time, but I felt like they gave. Okay, I felt like they basically said, "We know that this is effing ugly, but this is what it can do."
Right.
Which I've always said, no one cares, and you shouldn't care what your phone looks like. It's about what it does for you, what it adds to your life, what it can do for your productivity as a creator, etc. And Apple proved that, and especially when they talked about let's talk about Filmic.
Filmic Pro, yeah.
Holy crap! Did you see the stuff they were doing?
Yeah, that stuff was really impressive.
Wow, like that's how. Like we were all talking about how the Note was like the creators thing, and then you can edit. No, this is how you get creators on board.
Yeah, Filmic Pro.
Yeah,
being able to use the front-facing and the rear-facing camera at the same time, being able to film two different people at the same time, like being able to film yourself in a window while vlogging, walking around someplace.
I mean, for interviews and everything, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
you know that Rode is already working on a Lightning 2 mic type system thing. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be something to see.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that when Apple really had the reputation of being the creator's phone, this is the kind of stuff that the kind of features that you could do with an iPhone that you couldn't do with other stuff.
Are you looking forward to taking a Slofi?
Slofi. I look forward to the time when I'm not talking about this phone very much anymore, and I don't have to ever say Slofi again.
Spoiler, I've already started doing up the plans for making a short film called Slofi, a Zach Talks Tech film. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And it's going to be like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It'll be stupid, but I hope it kind of blows it up. I've already got plans.
Yeah, I mean,
Slofi, a Zach Talks film, a Zach Talks Tech film.
I can't see a scenario in which I will ever have the need for a Slofi.
I'm gonna have my kids like throw like water balloons at me. I'm gonna fall over. It's gonna be cool.
But it's with the selfie camera.
I know, that's the stupid thing about it. It's gonna be. They even joked about it. We can't wait to see what you do. You know, we're gonna see stuff. TikTok is gonna go nuts with that. You know what's gonna benefit from that? TikTok's gonna freaking blow up with everybody doing Slofis.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, come on. Sometimes you just want to watch something stupid, right? And that's it.
What Josh was saying that I'm mellow. What do you want me to do?
I'm
Go crazy?
excited. I'm
not. See, you're more excited about some of this than I am.
You know what? I've had 3 Red Bulls today.
Okay, so that's.
I'm gonna crash so hard later.
Yeah, I mean, I still think. Like I'm looking at the Slofi. I was looking at the
They invented the word
examples that they were using, and it was like, okay, so that's fun. I'm sure somebody will have fun with that, but I don't care.
I'm gonna have fun with it, and it's gonna be ridiculous. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna put them on Twitter. It's gonna be stupid. Yeah, I can't wait to have fun with you guys with it. It's gonna be fun. I just think it's ridiculous. I think yeah, but I'm like that. All right, Sloppy. So keep on going.
So we move. I don't care about the water resistance or the dust resistance.
There's your
Great.
colors. There's your colors.
Yeah, the colors are ugly. The colors are ugly.
Roses are red. Violets are violet. Retina, liquid Retina LCD True Tone Tapper ways to wake haptic touch. No more 3D touch. It's gone, folks. You guys notice that?
Well, I mean, haptic touch works the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they never fully taught people how to use the 3D touch. Like it was baked into a lot of apps, but there was no way to like learn how to do it. It wasn't like a baked in functionality.
We got a better battery across both all three models, so that's good.
Well, here's a question that I had though, going back to the screen. So we have still the liquid Retina display,
I'm gonna
right?
go back up here. Yeah.
And there was talk that it was going to bump up to being a full 1080p screen this year.
No, it's still an LCD. I mean, let's be honest.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Full HD, 1080p,
Oh, okay.
as opposed to 840 or whatever it is on the 10R. But they didn't mention anything about resolution.
Yeah, you know what? Let me go to the tech specs. Maybe that's in there. So capacity, size, weight, display. Okay, so 6.1 inch, 1792 by 828. So resolution of 326 ppi.
So 828 is the important number there.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not 1080p.
And you
So-
know what? People complained about that last year, and it didn't affect their sales.
Well, I mean, it's not going to affect the sales, and I don't think it really matters all that much, because I've had this phone since the 10R came out, and it's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a screen that looks really pretty good.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really to complain about.
Like I said before, the other features. If you know you don't like that, this is not the phone from you. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the super sexy screen, then there are other phones for you to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting to me that they really went out of their way to position this phone as the iPhone, right? So their naming conventions have shifted entirely.
Mm-hmm.
This is the iPhone.
I counted this. They only said iPhone 11 Pro Max 3 times.
Yeah.
Which tells me next year they're going to drop the Max name. They only said it 3 times during the whole keynote.
Have you tried to say iPhone 11 Pro Max? It's
I'm just
really
like,
not easy.
it just sounds like a feminine hygiene
Why
thing.
are you doing all the feminine stuff tonight?
I'm not. I'm just saying what it sounds like. It sounds like something my wife would send me to the store for to punish me.
Zach,
I'm sorry.
please.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that's what it sounds
I'm
like.
not talking about being mean.
Okay.
Let's just not keep focusing on like feminine stuff, and let's just keep
trying.
it above board.
Okay.
So anyway, transitioning over to the iPhone Pro and iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Okay, hold on. I feel like we missed some stuff. So Face ID, privacy, share.
Well, Face ID. One of the big things that I hope is the case here is that
I don't think it got faster. Otherwise, they would have noted it. They would have said something. It's faster.
they did say faster.
They said. Remember, we were all predicting that it'd be from different angles. Like I could have the phone like this and it would read my face.
They said they did say that it has like more angles, and that it's faster. They did say
Okay.
that, but it just went like right by it.
Okay, I must have missed that. I apologize.
Yeah.
AR. Use AR to see iPhone 11. Well, there's your AR, Viper. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice that there wasn't one more thing?
There's never one more thing. One more thing died with Steve Jobs.
Everybody's like, they got one more thing. Didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Well-
All right, iPhone 11 Pro. Look at that animation. That was cool. I'm gonna do that again. Oops. Oh. iPhone 11 Pro. What's It's Wally. Look at that green. What do you think of that green? Do you like the green?
The green is the best thing about this entire event.
It's gonna sell out so quickly.
The green is like amazing. It's like,
Kenny says, "Did I actually watch the event?" Yes, I did, Kenny.
but the green here, I don't know if anybody else bought any of the original Zunes, but the Zune that was brown with like a double shot color in the plastic of like puke green. I always thought that Microsoft was the ballsiest company in the world to sell a poop brown like music player that had puke green as a secondary color. It was amazing, and I love that thing. And this color, like if you would have told me that they're gonna have a green iPhone Pro, I would have been like, green, because obviously I'm thinking like green, like Kelly green, or the less like this is a very grounded color,
I like it.
and I love this color.
Yeah.
I immediately they showed that color first, and then they showed the space gray against it, and I was
Yeah.
like, space gray looks like crap compared to that.
So I'm gonna go to the gallery here. There's your green. Here's the green again. Like you just keep on showing the green. Oh, here's your three colors.
Yeah.
They really want people to get that green.
Well, the nice thing is, again, with the camera thing,
Okay.
we've been seeing these mock-ups and renders and concepts of this first as like just a giant thing on the back of the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as
Oh,
we've seen it sort of with the same colors behind the lenses and everything. But when you look at this now, you can see that there's a three-dimensionality to what the glass is doing that
yeah.
actually does it is actually very elegant.
Oh, okay. Now I can take you off my spreadsheet. Where is it?
What?
I started a spreadsheet for people that I caught on Twitter and in comment section saying it was ugly, like the concepts. And I want to see who flip flopped. You're the first one.
I don't flip flop. I mean, I still think that that's like not the best way to put the cameras on the phone.
Go on.
But what they have done with the glass is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, it's very elegant. It has what really stood out to me as inappropriate with the renders and models and everything that we saw was that it didn't have like it just looked really blunt and like bulky, and it didn't have the same kind of feel that that iPhone designs typically have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, thank God it doesn't look like this. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Like this is fugly.
Yeah.
This is bearable.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll have to see it in person. They do a good job of making it look pretty nice in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just kind of I was just kind of like, wow.
Well,
the
did you
green
see
is sexy?
Did you see Jonathan Morrison's pictures?
No,
Like his videos? They all look great. They really do.
I was too busy working. I was
know.
working on a video.
He was working too. He did a live video from there. I'm just
Well,
saying.
I didn't get an invite.
I know,
Otherwise,
I
I
know.
would have done.
Let's keep on going.
Um,
Let's first triple camera system to combine cutting edge technology with the legendary simplicity of iPhone. Capture up to 4 times more scenes. Get beautiful images in a drastically lower light. Shoot the highest quality video in a smartphone. Then edit with the same tools you love for photos. You'll never shoot with anything like it.
So it was I was interested in the fact that they talked about how they put video editing inside of the camera app, right?
That's brilliant.
But all they did was take iMovie and put it inside the camera app.
Yeah, but if it works, it works.
Well, sure.
You can shoot a great YouTube video or anything with iMovie.
I know. I used
People do it all
iMovie
the
for
time.
the first 2 years I was on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think it's great that they put it inside the app. I think it's just another one of those Apple things where it's like, we're not going to really say what we did. We're going to make it sound a lot fancier than it really is.
Mm-hmm. But if it's I guess I'm just not as critical as I used to be because I really try to think about functionality now and services and everything going forward. So I think it's a really smart move that they did that. I can tell you this much: when I go out to Moraine Lake next week, or after the phone is released, I'm going to be shooting everything with my Note and my 10R. But when I'm not shooting the actual phone, like with the cases on it, I'll be using the 11 Pro, and I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that with the added stuff that they've done with the camera, again, they had the opportunity to make these iPhones sort of come back to the head of the pack in the photo realm. They are, like, iPhones are still the best cameras for video.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see when people put up their tests and everything like that on YouTube and the comparisons and everything. Hopefully, I hope we don't see a lot of people doing like heavily photoshopped and then saying it's better than this phone, which I find happens a lot.
Now, see, here's the thing. I'm just going to say it straight out.
Hmm.
Camera comparisons on YouTube are stupid because there are so many factors between the viewer and the actual photos that are taken by the actual cameras that it is not. There is no accurate way to judge which one is better than the other.
I agree with you. What about people that, and this is what I plan on doing, that just say, here's my day. Like, for example, your average consumer, okay? And he does those, the day in the life of using X phone.
Yeah.
I like those because he's not comparing. He's just saying, here I am holding the phone and this is what it looks like, right?
Right.
Here's the light. Like, what about those? Do you find those more fair?
Well, I mean, if you're showing me pictures that the phone takes, right, then that's fine. But if you're asking me to make like critical judgments of one phone versus the other through whatever process you used to edit your YouTube video, and then it's smashed down version that gets onto YouTube and then comes through like my tiny screen, and I'm supposed to trust my judgment when it comes to like this camera looks better than that camera. It's a complete fallacy. It's the same thing as speed tests. Everybody does these speed tests, and it's ridiculous.
I'm not, and especially when it comes to like opening apps, like opening a game and everything like that. To me, a speed test is like loading up like an actual speed test program and click at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, for myself personally, for my channel, for my audience, I mean, it's not for everybody. I used to do like this camera, then this camera, and just try to take the same photo, and all I did was tap to focus, right? And then more recently, like this year, I've just gone out with the S10, for example, or the Note, and here's the photos, and that's what I'm going to do going forward. It's not for everybody, and I know, like, and I completely agree with you. Like, there's so many factors. Like, take the photo, and then as you're setting up the other camera, the sun goes behind a cloud, or a car goes by.
Yeah,
or I didn't.
There's no way. I mean, honestly, there's no way that you could recreate the same photo four times over. Even when people put them on those little sticks, and they try and take there are too many variables at work in the moment. There are too many variables at work when you are working on creating the product that you're going to then send out, and then there's more variables when it comes through the internet to you.
See, I mean, I don't want to dive too deep on this. There was a time, for example, a few years ago where Marquez would do camera tests, right, on MKBHD, and he would put a link for Drive or for Google or whatever, right? So people could see the full res. He stopped doing that because there's such a small community, and you're part of that, and that's not bad. That looks for those small, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the same thing as headphones.
Yeah.
Everybody will say, well, the AirPods are great, and I have to make the distinction that the AirPods are great for what they're good at, which is being convenient and working incredibly well with the devices. But if you want to compare AirPods to even like other in-ear buds that are a similar price, they don't sound as good.
So let's go through the rest of the specs of the camera here. Okay, so we got a ultra wide 12 megapixel 120 degree f2.4. Okay, so that's the one that's on the furthest on the inside, and then on the top we've got another 12 megapixel wide f1.8, Hold on here. I need to double check on this. So they didn't mention anything here. Look at the spec. Look at these numbers here about optical image stabilization, but it probably gets that working with the optical on the wide, because you can see here optical stabilization. Okay.
Right.
And then if we scroll down further, hopefully I don't get cut off here. Hopefully, scroll down further. We have a 12 megapixel optical image. So I don't think there's going to be any issues taking photos because it looks like optical image is all there. I thought this was impressive when they showed this
Yeah.
image thing.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if this. I'm sure that this kind of thing was theoretically possible between like wide and ultra wide, but they didn't show it in this way. It didn't communicate as well. I don't think anybody else has communicated this concept.
This is
of-
what I do when I take a camera test. I take the standard, then I do the punch in, and then I do the wide, and I show it in the video. Like I don't move. I just tap those punch in buttons, right?
Right.
That's what they've done here. I don't know why they didn't demo that. At the same time, too, they also didn't clarify, is this edited? Is it not? For myself personally, with my videos, I don't edit. I just do straight out of the camera. If you want to see edited and filtered photos, go to my Instagram. But my videos, my Twitter are always unedited. I wish they would have clarified that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. On one hand, you would want to say, like, show me what it looks like coming out of the camera. On the other hand, a lot of what they were doing with these demonstrations were we put the camera into the hands of professionals,
Yeah.
and this is what professionals did. And part of, like, a professional would never take an image straight out of the camera.
And that's the mixed signals, right? So here's Apple, the consumer company that speaks to, the average and premium, but then you do your photos with a professional.
But it completely makes sense, because one thing it says is a professional can use this. The other thing it says is if a professional can get these kinds of results, imagine what you'll be able to, not knowing what the hell you're doing.
Well, I've always said this. Like I focus on the Galaxy, the Note, the OnePlus, and Apple for the most part of my channel. I did some Chinese stuff in the past. I'm a believer of, if I'm getting a flagship device, which is what I focus on, I should be able to just point, focus, and get a good photo. For the most part, that's like what the Pixel does, right? Like it's hard to take a bad photo with that phone, okay, no
Right.
matter what model. And I think Apple should have really tried to focus, no pun intended, on that with their cameras. I'm not saying I've ever taken a bad photo. I really haven't with the 10R. But they probably could have focused on that a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, before we lose it, I want to say thank you to Sembo for the 2.29 euro super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you. And MC2 Tech Reviews.
Yep.
Thank you. I will need some help with the
And if you guys get a chance, check out his channel.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
good. He's good.
Yep.
But yeah, see, to me, I feel mixed about it. Like, I would want to see what the camera is capable of,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's good by me. I don't expect the keynote address to say, like, here's what you're going to get out of the camera. Now, if they wanted to go a different route, if they wanted to give the camera to average Joes in the audience or on the street and show us what they were able to do with it, just taking it for a second, they would. But Apple's not really about that. They're all about the polish.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The end of the day, the thing that I want to find out about this camera is, can it make Apple undeniably competitive with I mean, if the benchmark is the Pixel, then can it be competitive? If not, like, sort of everybody. I saw it in the chat before. Somebody was like, "Oh, the Pixel's already going to be better." I mean,
Like, how do you know that?
yeah.
I don't deny it just because I go off the last 3 years, but right, this could be the year that the Pixel flops. I don't think so, though.
I don't think it's so much the year that the Pixel will have an issue.
Mhm.
I think it like what I hope is the case is that the iPhone, takes a giant leap forward.
Mhm.
And we just won't know that until we actually have the phone in our hands and we're, using the camera and seeing what we get out of it compared to the other stuff that we use.
This wasn't a giant leap forward. Let's be very clear about that. Next year, according to the leaks, blah blah blah, is the year that we see a significant change in hardware and software. This year, this feels like a refinement, but it doesn't feel like a lame It doesn't feel like a lame refinement. Okay, it feels like, if I had an iPhone 8 or 7 or 6, yeah, I'd get this, right? If you have last year's phones, I would say, just based on what we know today, without going too deep, I would still say no to this. Do you know what I mean? If you have a 10s, 10s Max, 10R, I would, and if money is a factor, I'm gonna say no.
See, here's the thing. Like, if money's a factor, then it was probably a factor when you bought $1,000 phone before.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, maybe you need to revisit. But I don't think, there's no way that you could say, like, here, I have this 10s. I need to get the iPhone 11. I mean, that's one thing that's fantastic about the iPhones is that they, like the iPhone 6s is still getting iOS 13.
Yep.
So that in and of itself speaks to like the longevity that you can get out of an Apple product, right? So it comes down to like, do I need? Well, it's not for me personally because I'm not a good example, but if you are somebody who likes to be on the cutting edge of phones, if you like the newest, latest, greatest, then most likely, no matter what, you're going to go buy the new phone of that year that you
Yep.
want, right? I feel like a lot of now this may be entirely wrong, but my sense from just being in carrier stores and thinking about it is like when somebody goes in and they need to get a new phone because their old phone is dying or they've had it for 2 years or whatever. I feel like those are the people who are still getting like iPhone 8s. Because they're looking at $1,000 phone and they're like, oh my god.
Well, now we're getting into the pricing thing. So let me bring up the pricing stuff, okay?
Right.
I have a couple screenshots here. I can show you guys. This is my Twitter. All right, so let's bring up not this. That's too small. Keep on talking. I'll find it.
Yeah.
There it is. Right.
So good news
Like
and
Apple
bad,
just. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
good news and bad news about the pricing. I mean, actually, not really any bad news when it comes to
it's
pricing these phones.
great news, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the iPhone 8 starting at $449,
Go
right?
back here. Yep.
And
Let me go. I'll bring up the iPhone 10R. Hold on. The 10R starts at like 5 something rather, doesn't it?
the 10R starts at $599.
Yeah. So starting at $599, you guys can see that there.
Yeah,
That's a steal right now.
yeah. I mean, for all the people who say, that you don't have to get a flagship phone in order to, this gets down to the range of like not budget but mid-range prices.
I mean, look at even 128 on the 10R, 649.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm not going to compare it to something like the Pixel or the OnePlus 7 Pro because the OnePlus 7 Pro is a brand new phone and it's focused on being an entirely different kind of
Yeah.
device than the 10R.
It-
But when you have the opportunity to get a 10R at or even an 11 starting at $699 and the OnePlus 7 Pro does it start at $699 or $799?
I'll bring it up here. My browser's going to bring up Canadian pricing though, so give me a second. I'll switch it over. Okay, so United States. So the 7 Pro 256 Almond, $699.
Okay.
So
Well,
the new
was
iPhone
that- Is it the same pricing as it was at launch? I guess. That's
no,
the other
it was
question.
like $899 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've gotten it's come down in price some,
Yeah.
and there are people are totally within their rights to say like, oh well, you get 64 gigabytes for the same price as you would get 256 here. The fact of the matter is, if you're buying an Android phone, if that's the thing that you're finding the most value in, that you think is going to work the best for you, then the iPhone is not in your sights in any way anyway, right?
Yep. Yep.
People who buy iPhones are buying iPhones because they're iPhones,
Mm-hmm.
and people who buy Android phones are buying Android phones because they. I mean, I think it's a myriad reasons, but there's like, you have the choice, you have the features. There's much more competition within the Android space, so there's much more stuff going on. You have the different kinds of functionality. Excuse me. So, I think it's somewhat a specious. I think it's somewhat
What was that word?
specious.
Man, I gotta go back to school. Sorry, go on.
It's somewhat a false comparison.
I feel stupid sometimes when I talk to you.
Nah. I
It's like I used to it.
I'm a writer. What do you, I know words.
I know.
But
Go on. Sorry.
but no, I mean, I think it's somewhat a false comparison to say, well, for that same amount of money, you could get this Android phone with this,
Yeah.
because they're not the same thing.
Yeah, and we've done that comparison for years, even before you and I met. It's not I hate when people ask in comment. I don't say I hate. I just think we're past this. When people ask in comment sections or Twitter or whatever, and I appreciate you reaching out to me for my opinion. Zach, should I get the new iPhone or the OnePlus 7 Pro? What are you used to? Well, I had the OnePlus this, and I had the Samsung that, and I had the okay. You already answered your question. Stick with Android.
Unless you really think that you want something different.
Yeah, and then I go into those details. Like, it's not easy. It's easier now than ever to switch, but
Yeah.
just know you'll gain this, you'll lose this, you won't be used to that. Forget about having widgets. I'll go into those details, and a lot of people, and this happens too when people go into stores. They'll go into carrier stores. They'll go into AT&T, Verizon, whatever. And they'll say, no. Okay, the iPhone's too much. What free phone do you have? Well, we have this Alcatel or this LG. Okay, do I get iMessage on it? No. Oh, okay. What installment plans do you have?
Right.
Right? It's true. People will not switch over one feature. AirPower, iMessage,
Element 7.
FaceTime. FaceTime's huge for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for facetious. I'm looking for specious. Specious is like, I guess a synonym would be it's false, like an incorrect comparison.
Okay.
Whereas facetious is saying something in a humorous manner,
Okay.
right?
Anyway,
So-
are we still talking about prices, or should we go back to the
Well,
website?
the one thing I want to talk about with the pricing, and they kind of snuck this in at the end,
Go on.
was the whole trade-in thing, because they used to have the Apple like program, maybe they still do, where you just get the new phone every year.
Yep.
Well, now they've come up with a solution where even if you still owe money on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
right, then you can still trade it in, and
So this is why they want to recycle the components, use them for new devices if they can, but mostly refurbish the devices and sell them on the refurbished program or overseas in emerging markets. Okay. Now, if Apple can take components from your device, combine things, and make new devices, as long as they pass their quality, that's less money out of their pocket. From Apple's, from the way they normally market, because it's like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, right? From their books, they're actually taking a loss on the iPhone 11. They're barely getting by on the Pro and the Pro Max. But Apple knows the future, and the future is services. We're done with the hardware game. We've talked about this
Right.
before,
Right.
right? So from probably, I mean, because we'll see the teardowns in a few days saying this is how much the iPhone actually costs to make and everything. But everybody, you have to look at the bigger picture, the marketing.
Well,
da-da-da-da,
I mean, you
right?
can tell us what you can tear down an iPhone and cost out the prices of the components,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not how much it costs to make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not how. I mean, say what. So the labor that is being paid for, and whatever you want to say about the fact that they make the phones in China or other places.
Yeah, you're the
now.
one that showed the video with the net. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I remember that.
But I mean, you do have to factor in labor cost.
Mm-hmm.
You have to factor in, all the things it takes to get the phone to the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to factor in all of the things that are over and above, like the marketing of the phone and everything else that goes into it.
And plus the software and the apps that automatically come with it. Like, do you think that FaceTime is free for Apple to run? Hell no.
No, I mean,
How many people can you put on FaceTime? Like 32 people or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, they're holding down massive server farms to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is one thing. So I feel like last night I cleansed myself of my old way of talking about this stuff.
Yeah, we had a good conversation with quite a few. Did you ever talk to Rettinger?
Not yet.
Not yet, but there was a good thing going back and forth. We talked to Greg and stuff like that. The Johns jumped in. Sorry, continue.
So I think that the one thing I want to talk about more when it comes to smartphones, and this applies to really anything, is that can we not have these sort of two-dimensional, like, just take this sliver of evidence and use it to try and prove everything?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, it doesn't have this, then it's inferior.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So people do it with the iPhone all the time with RAM, even though for years the discussion has been that the iPhone uses RAM differently. So while the Note 10 having 12 gigabytes of RAM is awesome, but it doesn't really have anything to do with how many gigabytes of RAM the iPhone has, because it uses the RAM differently. So they said it in the presentation today. The fact that they are vertically stacked, they make the software, they make the hardware, that just all the way down the line, they have complete control over their entire means of production.
Mm-hmm.
Means that they have the opportunity to do stuff differently than Android, which the base version of Android has to then be sort of taken and spread out to a bunch of different places, and the hardware has to make up for some of the optimization issues. So Danny Rivera says painfully honest compromise. What's the compromise, Danny?
Just talking about you.
What's the compromise, though?
That you're backtracking on what you said last year. The truth is, you can't. We've been down this road so many times. We're human, and we're allowed to change our minds, and things change, and perspective changes, and everything like that. And sorry, we're not robots.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm supposed to hold myself true to everything that I said,
No, Jason, you're supposed to pick up manufacturing. You're supposed to defend them to the death all the time. You can't change your mind. You can't point at the bad things. That's how it works. Don't you know?
Okay. Now that I know that. No, I mean, this is the problem that I've been dealing with is the conversation about smartphones changes every year.
Mm-hmm.
Last night I had a great year complaining about Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This year is not the same as last year. So I found myself in the position in terms of my YouTube channel of just having to say, like, well, do I just keep trying to do the same things and take a round hole and a square peg and try to make them fit together, or do I sort of take myself off the hook and allow myself to actually talk about what's happening now, and what I think about it now as opposed to what I would have thought about it a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same thing. The landscape of like 2019 smartphones are way different than 2018 smartphones.
Uh-huh.
You know, this is the year of iteration. You know, so we're not looking at huge changes. So we have to look at what changes we have differently.
Uh-huh.
And so when I look at this iPhone event, I mean, was I like on pins and needles? No. You know, was the iPhone that was released everything that we expected it to be? Yes.
I'm happy. Sorry, go ahead.
Except we didn't get reverse wireless charging, which I think is a blessing in disguise.
So they took it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to know because everybody keeps on using a different word rather than wire or reverse, and I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
They took it out.
The story last night came out that they were having trouble making it work.
What?
And
They
so-
made it work before.
Well, Apple hasn't had reverse wireless charging before.
No, to charge your AirPods and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put your AirPods on the last year's, couldn't you?
No.
Then what the hell am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Samsung Galaxy S10 was the first.
No, Oh, no. Okay, you're right. So they have wireless charging, just not reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought for some reason you could put your AirPods. Okay, my bad.
No.
My bad.
But that feature had been long rumored to be coming with this phone.
I thought it was already on there. Wow. See,
And-
I don't. Like self-admittedly, I focus on Android so much. I don't focus so much on Apple. That's sorry, people.
Yeah.
Sorry, MC. This is the truth, man. I'm human.
Yeah.
Can you make us bigger in the screen here?
Well, if I take out your sharing.
Oh, okay. Just put it back then. That's okay. I think people like the screen, so leave it in. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go on. Sorry.
But anyway, like just to kind of start to wrap this up in terms of the conversation, like I decided that I'm not going to go into this like looking for everything that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about the stuff that I don't think is right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call out the things that I think could be improved upon. I mean, and that sort of thing. But I'm not going to bend over backwards to try and bash Apple or to try and pump up Apple or anything else.
Well, we're not being paid either way to do that. We just have to be honest about our experiences and everything. So
yeah, but I mean, the way that we get paid for creating our videos and one way or the other is in clicks, right?
yeah. Thank you, battery powered. He says, Zach, it's okay. Apple forgot about it too. It seems. Okay, guys. You guys raked me over the coals. Okay, I deserve it. I thought it was already there. So yeah.
So anyway,
Let's talk more about the video stuff.
yeah, I just
A3 Bionic.
yeah, like we have to accept that they are going to put these stupid names at the end of the chips.
What did they call the screen? What did they call the screen? Retina XDR or something?
No, they called it Super Retina.
Super Retina XDR.
Yeah, Super Retina.
Yeah.
Which, okay, let's and I say this in my video, but we'll backtrack a little bit and,
All right.
and say that Retina display
Mm,
was specifically defined as
there's your picture. Yeah.
yeah, specifically defined as like a pixel density at which the human eye would not see pixels. Right?
Okay.
So that was Retina display. And so what is Super Retina? Like
It's just it's LCD.
it's OLED.
Or no, sorry, this is OLED. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's LCD. Yeah. It's again, it's just marketing. I laugh when I go to places and people are like, "Check out my Retina display, iPad Pro," and I'm just like, "No, it's LCD. There's nothing. That's just their name,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah.
Like my I drive a Hyundai Santa Fe. I don't call it the Super Benz. Okay,
Right.
it's a Hyundai Santa Fe, right?
Right.
Right.
So I've seen people mention like audio zoom in the chat here.
Yeah,
quite-
right there. It says
quite a
audio
bit.
zoom to match the audio with the video framing. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. That might come back to this thing right here.
Well, I think it's just saying like the audio is gonna track with where the video is framed.
I mean, this is cool. Look at this. The expensive tripod looks like a Manfrotto, right? And just the phone on there, like that's what I'll be doing when I go out to Moraine Lake to record the ballistics stuff.
Look at that amazing C920 up there.
What's C920?
The Logitech C920.
Oh my! I never use it. It's such a piece of crap. I should just unplug it and sell it. I'm on a Lumix G7 here. So
I've got my Logitech Brio up here. It's like my
this thing is. Don't buy this. Don't buy this, people. It's such crap. I never liked it.
5 years ago, it was the greatest thing since sliced
I bought it 2 years ago. I feel so stupid. I bought that and then I literally got the G7 plugged in the Cam Link and I'm happy.
Yeah, and I think that we have to be cognizant of what is meant by audio zoom, and because the Note 10 supposedly has audio zoom. The LG phones have had it for a while.
Have you tried using the audio zoom on your Note yet?
No, because
it's cool, man. It's kind of creepy. Like I could spy on people with this, but yeah.
Well, but the thing is, like, okay, if you're taking photos, there are certain things that have to happen. If you're taking video, there are certain things that have to happen with sound.
Mm-hmm.
And if you alter that, then it's just going to be weird.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with the audio zoom for the Note 10, is that, all of a sudden something that's 50 feet away sounds like it's 5 feet away, and your brain doesn't accept that.
I have a hard time believing this because last year they tried to pull the same stuff. The night mode, I hope they really have made it better.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We know the Pixel can do this, but I have a hard time believing that that this is out of the camera without any Photoshops. Now, they don't claim either way here on the website, but I have a hard time believing this.
See, now, but one thing that I think people don't take into account when they look at these photos is that is an amazing photo.
Yeah, let me scroll back up. Sorry.
It's a great photo. It's composed in very well. There's like a lot of depth going on. It's really a great looking photo.
Mm-hmm.
The effect that you're able to get with this night mode is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the average person is not going to see the same results because they're not like professional skilled photographers.
How many times when you took that picture with the ornament on your car, like at the baseball field, I think it was?
Yeah.
How many times did you be honest, how many times did you take that photo? To get it the way you want it.
I took it from a bunch of different angles.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe repeated the process for a different angle like a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of knew what I was trying to see. And so so I was going for that. But I had like, it was an old Chevy farm truck.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I had like a cornfield and a sunset, and it was amazing. It was like, that was the picture. I just had to figure out how to get it into the camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think anybody can learn how to do that, but the fallacy that we're set up to think of when we care about, camera this, camera that, this one's better, that one's better, this one has this, so many megapixels or whatever. The fallacy is that somehow the tool is going to improve the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to.
Yeah.
It's not going to. The tool is the more features that tool has, the more features you as the creator have to work with. But you have to still be able to see the good photo.
Yeah, I mean, we're splitting hairs nowadays when it comes to cameras and video, and rightfully so, because people are into that. But honestly, and I've talked about this before. We both, Dave West, Mr. West's channel.
Yeah.
He takes these tier 2, tier 3 devices. I'm not talking about like OnePluses or anything. I'm talking about like Asus and Xiaomi and stuff like that, tier 2, tier 3 type devices. And he takes better photos than I ever could with the latest Samsung flagship or Pixel.
Yeah.
Because he uses those custom settings in there that maybe I don't dive into all the time, and he takes his time. And I'm like most consumers where I just pick it up, launch the camera, tap the focus, take the photo, move on with my life. I don't have time or the patience to do that unless I'm setting out to do that myself.
There's an old saying,
Oh, sorry.
you know, that the guitar does not make a great guitar player can make any guitar sound great.
How much did you spend on that guitar you were telling me about? You told me this the other day.
Which one?
Okay, so you made X amount of money last year from a really good video, and you
Yeah.
went out and bought a guitar for how much?
It's $3,000.
Yeah. So could I pick up that $3,000 guitar and make music? Hell no.
No.
But I bet I could hand you $100 acoustic, and you would just play the out of it.
Would it be easier for you to learn on a better instrument? Yes.
I couldn't answer that question. You would know as a musician.
Well, yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
you know, so. Oh, popcorn.
You got popcorn?
Yeah.
I'm hungry, man. I had some sushi earlier, and it was not good. It's
No.
from a new place.
So anyway, I mean, like, when people ask me, like, what kind of guitar should I get for my whatever, you know.
So you have to ask, like, what stage you at?
Well, if they're beginners, even if they're beginners, I say spend no less than $300 because you can get a decent guitar at $300, but anything less than that, the instrument itself is going to be actually actively so bad that it will impede your progress.
Yeah, so we're spending. My son won't be watching this, but we're going to spend about $600, maybe $700 for my son. He really wants to learn.
Right.
He has a crappy $200 thing, and I'm just like, this is not cool. Like, it's from Costco or something like that. His uncle bought it from, and it's fine. He got it when he was 2 years old, but now he's 7, and he's really into it.
Right.
He actually watched your music channel for a bit, and he really wants to learn. So we're going to buy him a nice $700 acoustic. So you're saying that's the way to go as a kind of beginner-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. Oh, I see somebody's talking about auto-tune. Auto-tune, like the way that auto-tune is being used in a lot of popular songs now is as an effect, not as a corrective tool.
It was as a corrective tool, and it was kind of funny listening to artists that were still using it to see if they sounded good, and just like, what is this crap? And now it's just like an ironic effect thing, right?
Well, now it's like this. It's a really crazy, almost like flange sound. You know who was the first one to make a record with that sound on it, or at least the first person to have a hit with that sound on it? Cher. If I could turn back time. So, anyway, that's just a preview of some of the kinds of things I'm going to talk about here on the Painfully Honest Tech channel as we move on. I think
Like, I want to know if these photos were edited on the phone or in Lightroom after or something like that. And they never, even if you dig into like the disclaimer stuff, they never tell you. Like, I don't doubt that someone could take this with portrait mode on whatever phone. Like, that's a damn good picture. Like, that's a really good. I don't know who this guy is, but I like his hair. It's kind of got like a Kurt Cobain vibe going on.
the 90s are coming back, although fanny packs are now popular.
I need to get a fanny pack. I want to get one so bad.
Oh man, I've got a Google Pixel fanny pack that came with my Pixel 3 XL last year, and I just threw it in a box.
Listen to this. Smart HDR, and you thought your photos couldn't get any better. Listen to this last statement. Next generation HDR uses advanced algorithms to finesse highlight and shadow details in your image, and now it leverages machine learning to recognize faces in your shot and intelligently relight them. That means iPhone 11 Pro can automatically fine-tune details in both the subject and background. Even some DSLR cameras can't do that. Trigger.
Well,
you're going to trigger some people.
I don't think it's incorrect. I don't think that DSLR cameras are made to do that sort of computational photography is what they're talking about.
That is such a no, I'm not talking about the woman, but that is a delicious photo. The blue, and then the ocean, and then the foam from the waves. Like that's a delicious photo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, So whether TechRant says that they are edited, which is fine, which is fine,
Look at that.
because just the fact that you can take a picture that ends up looking like that
Mm-hmm.
with an iPhone is
That's
what
so
what
sexy.
really matters.
That's
right?
sexy. Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, like just to wrap up my thoughts about the event, we're getting on 2 hours here, so I want to.
I don't think we're getting bored, are we?
Well,
Well, there's still stuff to talk about. Okay, let's go a bit faster. Okay, so why selfies when you can do a slow fee? Okay, we already talked about making fun of it. All right, even more camera fees. So 40% lighter, 6 more light effects. Here's all the stuff. OIS, zero shot. Pro display, super retina, XDR, sharper contrast from everything else. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We still have an effing notch. I
Yeah.
really thought they were going to like reduce that. I really did.
I mean,
Okay, so here's your display, 800
We've known
nits.
since like January that
I
that it
know.
was going to be there.
Pixel
So,
12 leaks will start next month. Boom.
you know,
Or a
it's amazing
iPhone.
that we were talking about. I mean, it's been several months that we've been talking about the next iPhone after this. You know, and all the rumors that are out there.
Mhm.
So,
Fastest CPU in a smartphone, 60. Do you believe that?
yeah,
Okay. Fastest GPU in a smartphone,
yeah.
64-bit Fusion. Again, that's marketing lingo.
But 64-bit is a real thing. Fusion is whatever marketing they're doing.
I want to try gaming on it. I can't. I don't typically game, but I'm actually looking. Like you can download like Doom now, like the original Doom.
Right.
I played on my Note, a lot of fun. But I'm going to download some high performance stuff. So here's another hour battery life with it. But here's 5. So 5 more hours of battery life. That's cool, man.
So just telling me that you're getting 5 more hours of battery than you do with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like another one of the challenges that I had when I took this 10R to New York
Mm-hmm.
was I would be out all day taking pictures, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and listening to music, etc., and I would get back to where I was staying at like mid-afternoon, and I would have to charge.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're giving me 5 more hours in the same form factor
Mm-hmm.
is pretty. I mean, the fact that they don't go into like how they're doing this,
Well,
except for that
I-
explanation about the chip. You know,
I think that's part of it, and they're probably going to be closing more tasks in the background than what they normally do. Like Apple's really good about that, but they'll probably be closing more. Here's something they didn't talk about. Creating tougher glass isn't rocket science; it's molecular. I don't think they actually talked about how apparently it's more durable. I mean, I'll wait for the drop test. I won't be doing it myself. So,
yeah,
they did talk about this from a single piece of glass. I remember that part.
yeah. But see, when I hear that, I'm like, would they make it from like multiple pieces of glass?
I don't know because I don't see any seams on mine. So spill resistant, IP68, dust resistant. So we got the same stuff. Candy beep on board precise, Face ID, built-in privacy. So then that pretty much. There's your AR. Use AR. You know, and that's it. I mean, here's some of the accessories. The silicone cases look nice. Although I would recommend a ballistic case. Ballistic actually has a very nice silicone type case that has 10-foot drop protection. I can't wait to show you guys. And it looks just like this. Yeah.
So okay. Question here from Chef: Better GPU than the Razer Phone 2? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's another place where like you're not comparing apples to apples when you're comparing Android processors like the 855 and the Adreno GPUs that they use in most Android phones and the A series chips that go into the iPhone, right? The iPhone, the A12 Bionic is still faster than as a chip. It's still faster than any other chip in any other Android phone. It's always been. It's a more powerful chip. It's just the way that it is, and it's again they gain these advantages from the fact that they make this stuff themselves. when you're making the chips and you're making all the other hardware and you're building the circuit boards and you're making the software and all that kind of stuff, you can get this stuff to happen. So
I'm trying to find a picture of all the colors. Keep on talking.
So this is like I kind of brought this up a little bit earlier, and I'll bring it up again just to kind of make the point. When you see people doing like speed tests, no, see, Phone Buff didn't prove anything. Phone Buff is not. I mean, he's pressing two cameras. He's pressing his two fingers on two different smartphones, and what you have to understand is that the animations that go into things opening are programmed to open in a certain way. If you get into developer mode in Android, you can defeat those animations, but you can't do that with an iPhone. Okay? So you can't judge the speed of the processor by opening the apps. You cannot. It is not something. It doesn't matter if Phone Buff used a robot or, his two dogs' noses. It's not an accurate way to measure speed of a phone. It's just not. It's just not, and it's never gonna be until you can control every variable about like the different kind of software things that are going into the opening of the apps. If you're telling me that a speed test where you're just opening apps is indicating to you which is which is faster, then I don't know how it's possible. Now, one thing that I've watched Phone Buff's videos, and one thing that he finds out is like how many apps are kept in memory.
See, that's a good conversion. Yeah.
So that's a valuable test, but it doesn't have any. But the first part of that test, the opening of the apps, is again specious. It's a specious comparison.
So word of the day, kids.
Yeah. And I really am going to try and talk more about these kinds of things over the course of this year than I have in the past. Because these are things that are actually worth complaining about and calling out. We need to be, we as viewers and consumers of YouTube product, we need to know exactly like what it is that we're watching, and whether or not it's actually it actually has a chance to be accurate. So, should I trade in an iPhone 10 for an iPhone 11 for that $300 difference? Yeah, sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the iPhone 10. The iPhone 11 has plenty of added features. It's just like, people have made the point to me that if you go from a Note 8 to a Note 10, you're going to see a big difference between the two. And part of that's probably that the Note 8 has been in service for 2 years at this point, just like your iPhone 10 has been in service for this point, for 2 years at this point. So a fresh phone is going to be better and have all those other features. It's whether or not you want to spend that $300.
Can I show the people something here just in terms of value for money if they're looking for cases, just from somebody that I'm going to be working with closely soon, because I have it upstairs. Like, I'm not going to go grab it. Can I show this? Is that okay? Just because we didn't talk about the overpriced Apple accessories.
Well, the overpriced Apple accessories it's kind of the same as the overpriced Apple everything.
Okay.
At least you're paying more than you would pay for other stuff, but you're also getting something that's better.
Okay, fair enough.
So like, I don't care that I paid $50 for this leather case because it's really a very nice case.
Gotcha.
So, but what were you gonna say?
I wanted to show this soft jacket series from Ballistic, because it's less than half of what the silicone is, and it's a silicone type material, and it's awesome, and it has a 6-foot drop protection. And I was blown away when they sent it to me.
Yeah.
Can we show that? Can we just show the picture real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm already sharing. You need to show the
Oh,
thing on
that's
the
right.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to show this really quick, and just because I really believe in this company. So they have this. They're going to have this for all the models, and it feels and it looks and it's just as thin. It's a 6-foot drop protection. I don't know if they're on Amazon yet, but they're $35. That's US pricing,
Right.
and they're nice. Like I have, this is their jewel case.
Right.
Beautiful, right?
So, Walter Alice says Note 10 is better. What do we add to that sentence so that it's correct? To you, the Note 10 is better to you. But everybody's usage is different. Everybody's preferences are different. Everything is subjective, and there's not a single way that you can take the Note 10 and compare it to anything else and tell me that that objectively it's better. You can't do that with any phone. You can't say this is better because of X spec. It's all relative. Am I right or am I right?
It comes down to what you need as a device. There's no such thing as, this is my kind of philosophy. It has been for the last year. There's no such thing as a better phone, because as soon as you take it off the lot, as soon as you guys order it, there's going to be something better. Like people are already talking, I'm going to wait for next year. Like we weren't even halfway through the keynote, I started seeing tweets like that. Do you know what I mean? Right? And
Right.
if you're never going to be satisfied if you
Right.
keep on having that mentality. And I think even us as tech reviewers, we sometimes have that mentality, right? You need to really look at, what do I need? Okay, this is what you do. So when I bought my house, my realtor said to me, give me the top 10 things you want. You're probably only going to get 5.
Right.
Okay. And we did. We actually got 6. We were lucky. That's what you really need to do with your cell phone. What are your top 10 things? But realize you're probably only going to get 5, because there's no such thing as a perfect phone nowadays. And, like if camera is super important to you, then yeah, get a Pro or get a Note, right? Or get a Pixel 4 or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Okay. But if it's not, and battery life is important to you, then get the new, that big thick ROG phone or where the heck it was, that big thing. Do you know what I mean? Right.
Right.
Know what's like, I've had lots of people say to me, camera's not that important to me. I just need to be able to have long life, and I can be able to drop it, and then they end up getting like an Asus or something. There's nothing wrong with that if it serves. That's why when I go back to when people complain about the look of the phone, I just roll my eyes, because I'm just I get it, but it's kind of shallow, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody cares what your phone looks like. Nobody cares which phone you have. It's not a status symbol, no matter what you think. It's not. And the people that think it is, and the people that care that other people think that it is, are completely shallow.
Yeah. So I want to walk back up here to Asarni Thomas's comment where he says, Apple user says his pictures are better, so it's true. Nobody said that. Camera test shows different. Painfully Honest Text says can't trust the test. It's subjective, dude. Subjective means your personal opinion, your values, your eyeballs, the physicality of your being comes into play. So if you think that another phone looks better, then it does to you. But there's no way that you can take camera A and camera B and tell me that one is the thing that's the best and the other is not, because somebody else is going to disagree with you. Period. End of story. So anyway, I'm getting preachy, and we're over 2 hours.
We're both getting preachy. This has been a good one, though. I
Yeah.
want to thank everybody, especially the haters, for being in the chat tonight. I want to thank our mods for holding it down. I saw some pretty creative comments tonight. Some valid points. A lot of you were wrong. Just kidding. I love you. Subscribe to me. Yeah, it's been a good one. Been fun, man.
Yeah.
So as it stands right now, what are you buying? Like, what are you planning on ordering? What have you ordered?
I can't order anything right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I I spec'd out a 11 Pro Max in the midnight green.
Nice.
That's definitely
Oh, the pre-order isn't until like 5 a.m. Pacific on Friday. So much for the late night staying up and ordering. We're all gonna have to get up early if we want to do that stream.
Okay, so 5 a.m. Pacific is
That-
7 a.m. my time,
Yeah, that's right.
which at that
They made a
time
joke about it. They're like, we'll let people sleep this year.
Yeah, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess.
I'm getting the 11 Pro, but I haven't decided on gray or green. I want to go green, but I think that green's just gonna. I think that's gonna go like that. So I'd be better off getting the gray, knowing I can get it right away. I've already pre-ordered the titanium watch, but now that we've been talking everything, I think I'm gonna go back and cancel that tonight, and just get the steel, because I was happy with the steel with the Series 4.
Right.
And the only reason you want the titanium is for the look and for the weight, and I never had a problem with the weight of the other one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So might as well save a few $100.
I
and
haven't
I don't have anybody
decided if
I don't
I'm
have any-
getting a phone or if I'm getting a watch or not.
I don't have any to flex to except for my kids, my wife, and she's just gonna yell at me saying, "You bought what? For how much?"
Yeah.
Be like, how much did you spend at Victoria's Secret? Thank God. You know, like, right? So
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that's like a candy store, man.
Do they sell edible underwear there?
I have to check with my girlfriend, but my wife hasn't bought anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Says there's the joke, right? The wife girlfriend.
I don't know, man. See, Genosis, here's the thing about the green. I have like my two favorite colors have long been black and like military ODU green.
You're getting the green.
So
I know you're getting the green.
So that green is calling to me.
Yeah. Actually, here's a tip for anybody here that's looking to do the pre-order, like gonna order this Friday. Go to Apple's website tonight and favorite what you plan on buying, so that when the website goes live, you just click on your favorites, order, you're done.
Yeah.
Do that. You can pick your color, your size, the Apple Care, bookmark it, and then all you have to do is go in, click, you're done.
Right.
Yeah, do that. That's a pro tip. Do that.
I just did it.
There you go. You did it. I don't think they charged my credit card yet for the watch. So,
Wait a minute.
because the watch says it won't. The watch says it won't be delivered till like October 2nd, which is one of the reasons why I might change. So
This is weird.
Hmm.
So I had the I had the 256 selected, and now
Mhm.
it's saying it's $1,200, $1,249.
are you looking at Canadian or U.S. site?
U.S. Why would I look at Canada?
Yeah, they haven't pre-charged my card yet, so I'm going to cancel it tonight and order just the regular.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So I got to get this video out that I made before we did this, and
Cool.
and
Yep.
then I want to watch some TV or something.
So if you guys aren't subscribed to Jason, obviously, you must be if you're here. Make sure you guys are subscribed to him. You guys can find my channel, Zach Talks Tech. You can see my name there. But here's a link for you guys in the chat. If you feel like it, hanging out and stuff, I'm obviously a smaller channel. Hopefully I can hit that. My goal is to hit 8,000 by the end of the year. But really, I'm not really looking at numbers anymore. So if you guys want to come over, hang out, cool. Jason and we usually hang out.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you feel like becoming a member of the Painfully Honest
Yes.
Tech Wizard Squad, there is that join button
Yep.
down there. Just kind of getting started with it. Critical mass is being reached in terms of number of
Yep.
members, so that I can start getting into the different perks and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Do that. Jason brings out what are you still doing 3 days a week or 4? I know you've drawn back a little bit.
it's sitting around three videos a week.
Yeah. And then we do this. Well, we just started it back up. So Tuesdays is the podcast, and we say that because we do it live, and then Jason takes the audio and distributes it out to Spotify, Apple, So you can listen to us later on, and this will be available.
We're transitioning right now to
Yeah.
another network, and so this is going to be an audio podcast again,
Mhm.
but it's not for the moment.
And it will remain on the channel, but unlisted. So unsearchable, but as a member or community member, I think you post a link thereafter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you have a notification from being subscribed, then you can follow that link to the unlisted video. So, at any rate, thank you everybody for being here. I mean, there was an incredible number of people. I think I saw like 480 at some point.
I saw 520 at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing turnout.
Yeah.
For everybody who was here, obviously, thank you. For everybody who's still here, obviously, thank you for being here. I mean, it means a ton.
Yep.
It really does. These are for me, this is like my social hour. I don't get to talk to anybody about this stuff.
Yep.
Except
And you guys
when I do
can
these things.
You guys can always interact with us on, Instagram. I'm really active on Twitter. Jason's on there, throughout the day kind of thing. So definitely hit us up on there. Questions, interactions, trolls, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks so much for being here, folks. Really do appreciate it. Thanks to Zach for holding down the co-hosting chair once again.
Thank you.
And once again, my name is Jason. Sometimes, I changed it. My name is Jason, and this is the Painfully Honest Tech Podcast. The podcast so honest, it hurts. Until the next time, we're out.